Hello everyone, this is Jet. On this episode of Special Dessert, we're going to be doing the episode part 3. So basically, I am currently loving this series, and I hope you guys are too. So I'm going to continue doing it for as long as I can until I believe that I'm out of ideas. So according to today, I wanted to make some leaves, but for the snow biome. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm drawing it currently. It just didn't work out though. It just didn't match the biome types, and you're gonna see what I mean in just a moment. So currently I am, as you see, I am drawing. Now this is speeded up by ×2. So meaning that this took a lot longer. So meaning it's already been like 2 minutes in real time. But as you know, it's changed. So we've created this, and I thought it looked okay. And I was really happy with it. Until it was put with the other things. It just didn't match. Maybe in other things, but not this one. You'll see what I mean, because it just stands out too much. Like, it just doesn't blend. I didn't like it. So what I had to do is implement a whole new thing where it would change the sprite if there was a collision with the leaves and the snow. And so it would just change the sprite being the look of a thing, or an object. So let's see. I forgot to actually add it in this part. So let me quickly have my past self do that right there. So basically, it created it like so. And yeah, you see what I mean there? It just didn't work. You know? I just didn't like it. So, I think you know what I mean. It just doesn't look right. So I decided to remove it out of existence, and it was never seen ever again for that. Data was deleted. But moving swiftly on, I have also decided to make, what was I doing here? Sorry guys, I can't remember. Oh yes, I added a stone biome today. So basically the stone biome is a big platform of stone. You know, like in Minecraft where you see all those big things of stone where they're like mountains, but not really. They're like flat, like almost plateaus, sort of. So that's what I did here, and I was really happy with the effect on the stone. It had some good contrast, and it made it look like stone, and you see what I mean? And it blended well. So with the other biomes, it blended well. So it worked, and that's how it was going to be done. So I copied and pasted it into the game, and doing this, then I would take the object and I would put it in. After doing this, I made a complete new biome, but this one was twice as rare as the other biomes. So you know how in the pink generator, or biome generator, what it was is each has you roll a dice basically, and it has a 50-50 chance. So you're like flipping a coin for each. Well, this one was rolling a d4, or a 4-sided dice, which is a triangle, by the way, if you didn't know. I have one on my desk right now, so that's kind of cool. But that's what it's doing. And let's see. Did I put it in? Yep, I forgot to put it in there. Yep, you know me, forgetting to do that. So I put it in, and you see I made it 2 times as rare. So I decided to put 1 out of 4 chance of summoning that sort of biome. So it's not in this one. It had a lot of cacti there, as you can see. I don't know why. But doesn't look like there's any in there. Yep, there's a little bit of stone right there, and you can see I'm really excited over that. In one of these worlds, yes, look at this. All of that stone, man. You see, there's those times whenever there's little stone and then there's a lot of stone. So that's really cool. And I personally am really loving this whole thing in general. Now, moving swiftly on, we have, what are we making here? I can't remember. Oh, yes, this is the cliff. I have it pulled up on one of my monitors, still. I think it turned out nice looking at it, right now. I don't know if you guys will like it, but I liked it because it had the Minecraft sort of theme, but it had circles in it instead. You'll see what I mean. So I took a canvas, and I decided to fill it all with a certain paint color. I chose this sort of shade of brown. I changed the shade to a little darker. I couldn't find the right brush, but I was able to find it all in the end. Yes, I did this sort of pattern along the whole thing, and since I had a pen, it wasn't nearly as hard as using a mouse. I made the brush a little smaller, and then I added little specks of like little pebbles of some kind, like gray. After I did that pattern, I decided it would make it look a little nicer. And yeah, I think the overall look did look better with the slight bits of gray in it. The gradient does always change things a lot. Now, on the actual monitor that I draw on, it looks different than my other monitors. So what you're seeing right here isn't what I saw. So it was a little darker, but it actually turned out well, even though it was light, which is always good in the end. So as you can see, I'm adding little gray spots in it. Useful tip whenever making dirt or any sort of thing like that. Always add those little tiny details like pebbles or even roots. Those kind of things do kind of improve the look. Moving swiftly on, we're adding on a new cliff generator. So this is going to do the same thing. It's just going to generate cliffs instead. So how it's going to work is the cliff will spawn, and right above it will be a block that it will automatically summon, as in like a I don't know, a land block, because then it has the opportunity of changing into a different biome. I was a little lazy this round, so I just created a different object called land cliff, or cliff land. And what I would do is I would just I'd make it summon on top of it, on the coordinates 0, 0, make sure it's relative, so it will summon where it is near the object. Man, my throat's getting dry, sorry guys. Yes. So, as you can see, I'm going to place it down right in there. A few of them will do for that. I changed the quantity of them to a different amount. Now, remember, depth is all the importance. As you saw, it looked horrible, right? This looks way better. You can see the little cliffs everywhere. It looks really nice. Now, the thing is, you might want the top of the cliff to look darker if you want the overall effect to be a mountain. Otherwise, if you wanted it to be a cliff in like an RPG game or something like that, then that will work as well. Taking art classes with Jet is not the best opinion with me. But, I mean, I like to qualify myself a decent artist, not the best in the world, because I can't do much. But, as you can see, I added a shading gradient to it, where it would create instead land and then a shade above it. That didn't work out because it turned out too dark and really ugly. So what I decided to do is create Cliffland. I forgot that I instead copied the tree texture, so I just had to copy and paste that, delete the tree texture, and then do a little bit of editing on this, and kind of changed the overall look. Now, I'm going to make it darker later in the future because otherwise it looks a little weird, but you'll see in a second. So what I'm doing right now is trying to make the Cliffland, whenever a player collides with the Cliffland, then it can't go on top because it's a cliff, of course, a higher land, and the player can't get to it. Now what I was thinking about doing was having it to where it sets the momentum or forward or movement to 0 on the player. Now that didn't work out. After I can fix it in the next episode. You'll see. But yes, this is going to be me messing around with the depth. I don't know if I quite got it right. I tried to make the cliff perfect, so it was between the trees and the forest, like under that, but then above the land. I know that sounds pretty simple, but it was actually really complex because there was so many different things. Because the player has to be in front of it, because otherwise if he goes under the cliff, it looks a little strange. Or even certain things like the cacti. The cacti turned out okay, but like if I did it one little cactus wrong, then it wouldn't have looked that well. Now, I decided to try to mess around with the player, make it seem that there is higher ground there, try to convince the mind. I didn't make the overall effect, but I hope you guys can at home. I think your graphics will be much better than mine, unless you are only using the Gamemaker graphics, which works too. You can use Photoshop for this as well. That Photoshop works really well, because that's kind of what Krita is. It's just a different version of Photoshop. As well, as you can see, I did the collision, and then I did the horizontal speed or vertical speed set to 0 and check relative. That will work. I'll have to do a platformer video. That'd be really cool. That'd be a really fun one. But right now we're gonna work on generation. For that is the task at hand. So I'm just fiddling around with this, trying to make it work and make it look nice and have the player actually be successful in the game. See, I'm able to get on top of the cliff, so I'm decided to make it darker because I kind of gave up on it, and I'll do it in the next episode. So I decided to darken it up to make it look a little better. And see, now it looks much better because then you can see the difference between the two lands and the biomes and the cliffs. So you can kind of see it does make it look in a better overall effect. As you can see, this generation looks really nice too. And as you can see, it generates stone and all the things that we did today. I hope you enjoyed and you learned something today. I hope you learned something overall, and hopefully I taught you something. Alright, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell icon to get notified of my videos. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads lately. I'll try to upload all these videos just to make up for it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.